Hello and welcome to another episode of Legion by the Numbers, and happy Revenge of the Sith Day. May the Sith, Revenge of the 5th. I don't know what it is. Today we're going to be looking at Darth Maul. Now, I posted a previous video today. I'm actually removed that video because I didn't account for tenacity when I was running through the numbers. We're going to look at Darth Maul in today's episode, and I already ran this video once, but didn't account for tenacity. And it's crazy how much tenacity radically changes Maul. With his wound 1, where he enters play with that wound, that tenacity means that you've always got that extra red die. And so today we're going to be looking at Maul, the spoiled Maul, this Mercenary Maul, and his Darksaber. And we're going to look at the difference in damage between Maul's double-bladed lightsaber and the Darksaber. And so let's just get right into that. We're going to head over to the dice simulator, and we're going to be looking at 3 scenarios, basically. What happens when he attacks troopers, what happens when he attacks armor, and what happens when he attacks other Jedi and doesn't get his pierce. So let's go into that. Of course, before we get into it, I just want to remind you to be sure and hit like and subscribe. If you like this kind of content, I put out a lot of videos every week, around 4 a week or so. If you want to get notified for those, then be sure and subscribe. So let's head over to the dice simulator. And we're looking at, it's going to be 5 red and 4 white for that double-bladed lightsaber because of the tenacity. He's always wounded. Other than that, we got Impact 2 and Pierce 2. So we'll throw those in. Pierce 2, Impact 2. And then we're just going to walk through these and look at the various numbers. So we're looking at attacking troopers. Melee attacks, no cover. So we'll start with just like your B1s, white with no surge. And he's doing 4.71. Now let's switch over to the Darksaber. The Darksaber has the same 2 keywords, Impact 2, Pierce 2, but it gives him Surge to crit. And now it's 6 black dice plus 1 red for tenacity. So 6 black, no white, and Surge to crit, same keywords. And white with no Surge, it's doing 5.6 versus 4.6 versus 4.7. So only the tiniest bit of drop off there. Let's do those same things with white Surge to block, 4.5, and with the Darksaber, 4.4. So again, tiniest bit of drop off. And then finally, red no Surge. And so that's 4.1 roughly versus 4.0. So again, just the tiniest bit of drop off. And while we're at it, let's just do this with red Surge to block in case you do happen to, and we're going to leave the pierce in case you do happen to get into something like Death Troopers, one of the few red Surge to block units in the game, 3.5 versus, 3.47 versus 3.42. Now we're really closing in on each other. Very little difference there. Let's go back to the, we're just going to go back to the red. We're going to look at another scenario. Red, no Surge, but let's give him the aim token just to see how much difference that makes. Wow, look at that. The double-bladed lightsaber against a red unit, if you can get that aim token, like this is clones, this is stormtroopers. On average, he's dealing out 5 points of damage, killing 5 units out of that entire mix. Pretty crazy. With the Darksaber, red no Surge. With the aim token, 4.5. So a little bit of a drop off there. The aim kind of does help out that double-bladed lightsaber with the white, with all those dice, just more dice. So the aims help out just a little bit better. But still, against troopers, he's just a monster. Now let's look at going up against Jedi. So against Jedi, he's going to be losing that Surge. So it's 5 red, 4 white, losing the pierce, not the Surge. So we aren't going to give him the aim. We're assuming he's running in and attacking that Jedi. Red, no Surge to defense, but no pierce on Maul. And he's doing still 2.5 points of damage against Jedi, other Jedi. We'll do the same thing with the Darksaber. And 2.31 versus 2.38. So you can see the Darksaber is basically the same exact damage profile as his double-bladed lightsaber. That surge to crit, the additional die, and that red die, it really makes a huge difference. Running these numbers without that tenacity die, they're not nearly as good. Now the final scenario we want to look at is going up against armor. So we'll start with white, surge to block, and armor. This is still the double-bladed lightsaber. No dodge tokens or anything like that. Just to give us, a good idea. So on average, he's doing 2 points of damage. Oh, we need to put the pierce back in here. 3 points of damage against armor with that double-bladed lightsaber. Such a huge, huge, huge deal. And then with the Darksaber, white surge to block, armor. Oh, we don't have the Darksaber. Let's get the Darksaber. Darksaber, putting the pierce back in. White surge to block with armor. 3.5. So this is kind of crazy. The Darksaber is actually significantly better against armor than the double-bladed lightsaber. And you can see going back and forth between these two. This is against a white surge to block. He's doing another 0.5 point on average damage against white surge to block armor. Let's go at red, no surge. So if he's coming in something with red, still, it's crazy, but 3.0 goes to 2.9. So on average, if you get in there and start attacking something with armor, Maul's going to be doing 3 points of damage to it. With the Darksaber, 2.8 becomes 3.3, so over 3 to 4 points of damage against anything with armor. And the Darksaber is actually better if you're going up against armor. So that's something to keep in mind. Outfitting Maul with the Darksaber is really, really good idea. Against troopers, it's slightly less, but it's so little, it's almost imperceptible. And against armor, it's actually better. So I think the takeaway here really is that the Darksaber is actually a great thing. The only reason not to take it is, one, you really can't afford those 10 points. You need those back. And you just know that he was not going to be quite as good against armor, but still great against armor. Still doing those, 3 points. But you also don't want to be a commander if you want him to be an operative. So his default rank is operative. If you want him to stay as an operative, you can't have him as a commander. Then don't give him the Darksaber. Of course, you lose that cunning, but of course that also only matters when he's playing his cards. So there you go. There's the numbers on Maul's Darksaber. Corrected numbers from before. I ran those wrong when I first did this, and this Darksaber is a really great weapon on Darth Maul. Not terribly surprising. But good weapon. So hope you like this video. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another episode.